Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. We are running 6.3.6 Thunderstruck and Vigorous Assault lane. So if you're not aware about the nodes, the opponents takes 90% less damage unless there is a shock debuff applied on them. And also for Vigorous Assault, they are unblockable if they have a regeneration buff on them. Now for this path you will need you can use tech champions with the path boost by the name of Short Circuit. Use tech champions that have heal block on them, so you can heal block your opponent, and while they're heal block, if you parry them they will get shock debuff. So there's quite a few options: Dark Hawk, Vision, Civil Warrior, the OG Vision, Sentinel, they all work here. I'm gonna use some other champions that I do not require the boost for, so I'm gonna use a Mole Man with Doom and also Warlock as well. Hulkbuster is amazing for this part. Black Widow Deadly Origin is amazing for this part. So all champions that have shock, easily available shock debuff will work really well. The boss is going to be Captain America Infinity War. We will take him down with a She-Hulk along with synergy with Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. So yeah guys, so before we jump into the path, make sure that you like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications. This is the last part in 6.3. I appreciate you, all of you, hanging around during the 6.3 exploration videos, and after a little while we will start the 6.4 videos as well. Now the first fight is going to be against a Deadpool. Now this is going to be a long path with slow fights because to apply and to have a constant shock debuff on the opponent takes a little while. So what I try to do with Warlock is I'm gonna try to build up to almost 2 bars of power. Just below 1 hit of 2 bar of power I will use my SP1, and that will apply a shock debuff on the opponent. Same way I will start building again, and I will try to maintain the shock debuff for as long as possible on Deadpool so I can do good amount of damage to him. Now again, you can use some other champions here. You can use Stark's Enhanced Spider-Man, use also Jane Foster, you can use Black Widow Deadly Origin as well. Doom can work also. There's quite a few champions now in the game that can work here. Otherwise the tech champions will heal block, will work really well here. It's just a patient fight. The specials are easily available for Deadpool, so you just need to be careful for the cooldown timer on Vigor. Whenever he goes and he has regen, you just have to stay back, or if you have in the corner and he has less than 1 bar of power, you can also intercept him the way I am doing with Warlock right there. And yes guys, that's about it. If you are not comfortable with intercepting, you can stay back and you can parry, and then you can go in again. Just make sure when he goes down to 20% bar or 20% of power, you have him heal blocked, or in my case I have Warlock, I will have the transmit virus on him so he does not heal up again too much. Now the next fight is going to be against Venom the Duck. Now this fight is also straightforward and simple, just only bait out SP1 from Venom the Duck. His SP2 can be annoying sometimes, but that can also be dexed, but I would suggest SP1 because if you miss out a dex on SP2 you get toxic armor and the damage against you is amplified. So I'm gonna use a Doom here. I do not have any other shock champion, so I'm using Doom for this video, but you can use any champions that you like. Just be careful because Venom the Duck gets his own buffs as well, so he might randomly get a regen and get unblockable. So the best way to deal with it is to bring in Doom and use his 4-hit combo with his heavy and have those stagger effects. Now he applies a shock from his medium hit, but the shock he gets from the stagger effect nullifying any buffs from the opponent is longer. So I would suggest you to build up to an SP3 because this is something I learned later in the video, later when I was recording this path. So you build up to your SP3 and then you keep staggers on the opponent, and whenever Vigor comes up or any other node comes up, there's a lot longer amount time of shock there. So when that happens, you can use an SP3 and then you can go in all of your combo with medium, medium, light, light, medium, medium and SP1, and then for the SP2 they will be shock as well. So I would suggest doing that. It's much easier. So simply put the staggers on the opponent, wait for the stagger to nullify any buff on the opponent, and it will give a longer shock debuff, and during that shock debuff you can use your SP3 and all your specials with Doom that will bring down the champion faster. Next up is going to be a cable. Now this is a very annoying fight for me personally. Might be easier because his SP1 is very annoying to dex. Even if you dex the first part, you get hit by the second. I've been trying to practice to evade, but I fail. So every now and then whenever he will use an SP1, it will give me some damage that I did not sign up for, like right there, but that's okay. I would suggest you to push him to an SP2. The way you can do that is to do 4 hits and then block, and then he can come into you, but take care, he should not have a regen, otherwise he'll be unblockable. Once you have that down, just bring a champion that has easy access to shock. In my case is going to be a warlock. Warlock has shock on his SP1, so all I'm trying to do is to have almost 2 bars of power, and then I will use SP1, and then I have the second bar of power ready. So as soon as the shock is about to wear off, I will use another SP1 and try to keep maximum uptime on the shock, and my hits will do the rest. All the buffs that Cable have that can be countered by the Transmute Warrior, especially if it's a region buff that will bring his power down as well and does not let him regen as well. Next up is going to be a really annoying fight on the path that is going to be against the champion. Now champion can go unstoppable and put all kinds of wrench in your plans. So you would need a champion that can apply nullify or stagger on him, as well as have shock together to keep his unstoppables away, and it becomes a quick simple fight. In my case, I'm going to use a Doom. You can also bring in a Hood, you can also bring in a Thor, Jane Foster. All of those champions have easy access to shock and can also nullify and Fate Seal, so I would suggest you those are your first options to bring in. If you don't have any of those champions, then you have to go to the long route. You will have to play around Unstoppable. So yes guys, with Doom, it's just I'm trying to build up to an SP3, and once I have it, I'm waiting for my stagger to apply a shock debuff on him, because that's a longer shock, and once I have that on him, I will use my SP3 and I will go through all of my combo and kill him off very quickly. When the difficult part of the path is done, now the rest of the fights are easy. Those are just some region champions like X23, Voodoo and Wolverine coming up. So I'm gonna use a Mole Man. Mole Man is just amazing after the buff, and I'm going to taking him to rank 3 as well. So all I'm trying to do here is to build up to 20 Mole Man charges so I can get into his frenzy, and once he gets into in frenzy, I will just same way I will try to keep one to almost 2 bars of power, and then I will use my SP1 to apply a shock. The shock uptime is enough to lay in some good damage, and then when it's about to wear off, I will use an SP1 again to keep the maximum uptime on the shock, and then the frenzy will do the rest against the opponent. On top of it, the specials are very easily available for X23, so it's a really fun fight. Another bonus thing, Mole Man is in frenzy. He can also block unblockable hits, so you can just play it as a normal fight and parry even if there is regen, and you can kill her off. So Mole Man is just amazing for this path. I'll be taking out all the other champions with Mole Man, so all I'm trying to do is to keep my frenzy up for 20 charges and also use my SP1 to give shock damage, and then the bleeds and the criticals will do the rest. And the next fight is against a Dr. Voodoo, so you just need to be dancing around in the beginning of the fight because of the region buff Voodoo has, so you have to just stay around and play around it. You can use intercept so you can stay back, and once the region goes away, then he is not unblockable, then you can parry him and then you can easily kill into him. And only the thing you need to worry about is the Vigor Assault node of it. Voodoo is a pretty simple fight with specials that are easily evadable. I am just using Mole Man. I'm just waiting for his region buff to go away. Now I am just gonna parry him and build up some of my monster mass charges here. Then once I have my frenzy active, I will just throw an SP1 and I will lay into him, and I will keep using SP1 to have the maximum uptime on my shock charges, and in that way I will kill him off very quick. Next fight is against an Ironman, the first Ironman in the game. Again, a simple, straightforward fight. Simply parry, build up your charges, and then lay into him once you have enough. Once you have 20 charges for frenzy, you are using an SP1 and shock damage. He is just an opposite fight of Voodoo. Voodoo has regen in the beginning. Ironman has regen when he's down to 20% and he tries to regenerate up. So that's the time you need to be take care about. If you have a Mystic champion that has Stagger or Nullify, you can also bypass that. So there's quite a different options that you can use here. You can use Hood as well, you can use as Jane Foster as well. If not, Spider-Man Stark Enhanced works here. Hulkbuster works really well for this whole path. So there's a lot of options that can go against this, but these are the easy fights. The two difficult fights in the path are one against Cable and one against Champion. Once you do those, the rest are fights are simple and straightforward. It's all about keeping the shock debuff up and killing them as fast as possible. Next up is going to be Phoenix. Now again, she is nothing difficult about this fight. Just don't give her an SP2 to have Phoenix charges and make your life miserable. When you knock her out and she will regen back up and you will have to prolong the fight. Just give her an SP1, let her bait out SP1 only, and you can just lay into her. Just queuing any champion, any mystic champion will work here as well, just because of the class advantage. There's nothing fancy about this fight. Just keeping the Phoenix charges down, so when she is at her knockout health at 0, she doesn't regen much. I'm using a Doom for this fight. You can use any of the champion. These are one of the easier fights of the past. The difficult fights that are champion and cable are already done. We are just trying to make our way to the boss and finish off the path. And the final fight on the path is going to be against the original OG region champion, that is going to be Wolverine. Now I brought in a Moleman, and you will notice that even if he has region, I can parry him because Moleman can parry unblockable attacks as well. I am just building up to 20 monster mash charges, and then I will lay into him and kill him off with my SP1 shock with uptime. Same, you can bring in other champion, any other you like. Any mystic champion with nullifying struggle will work. Also tech champions with shock, so I'm talking about your Hulkbuster, also your Stark Spidey. If not, there are some skill champions that have shock as well, so Black Widow, Deadly Origin, also Thor Ragnarok. Also on the mutant side you have Storm Pyramid X. All of these champions work really nicely. Just keep your shock up so it feels like a normal fight, and that's about it, guys. Yeah, I'll see you at the boss fight. Now the boss fight is against a Captain America Infinity War who has a lot of nodes, so we will go through them one by one. The first node is going to be crit me with your best shot, so he's going to only take damage with critical hits. The next one is going to be destructive feedback, so there will be a shield on him, an active yellow shield on the top right corner of the screen. Whenever it's active he will not take any damage, and when it's only grayed out in a cooldown version he will then only take damage. Apart from that, there is also going to be Surging Vengeance, so he will use his special attacks in sequence, so SP1 first, SP2, and then he will use SP3. And also, if you don't hit him for a long time, he will gain Passive Furies in aggression mode style, and he will stack them up and he will use them against you in a lot of damage. So this fight is quite challenging and very restrictive when it comes to damage. You can only damage him when there is the cooldown on destructive feedback, and even then he can glance off the hits, and you can only crit him, you can only do damage with critical hits. And if you have all of that down, then you need a champion that can either taunt his specials out or who can tank us SP3. So the options that include are Stark Spidey is amazing for this fight, Ghost with Hood Synergy works here as well, Monkey King with Heimdall works, Aegon with Heimdall works. Also for a longer fight, if you don't have any other champion, Killmonger works as well. I am using a She-Hulk with Daredevil Hell's Kitchen synergy that increases personal fury timings by 15%. So all I'm trying to do here, you might have noticed, I am just building up my furies and I'm baiting out his SP1s quickly, and then I lay into him again. So this is all the ramp up time you take against She-Hulk. Once you have that up, the damage slowly comes up. A couple of things I will tell you for this fight is, I would suggest you to use parry when the destructive feedback shield is down, so it gives you an easy access into pushing the Captain America Infinity War into SP1, so you can retaliate after that. But if he has a destructive feedback shield up and it's yellow, do not parry because that will return you damage. So if you have that down and you're able to build up the furies, then it's not an easy fight, but it's like clockwork. You know what to expect and you know what to do here. Here, even though I lost a lot of health, but I had furies, I knew I could take him down. So all I'm doing is baiting out his SP1 and retaliate. I use my SP1 to also get furies and also push him over a bar of power as well. So yes, you've noticed this fight is almost over, but still he's only down by a few percentage, but this is where the fun part begins and the criticals start lighting up and give him a lot of damage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you enjoyed all the exploration videos for 6.3. It's been really fun. Thank you everybody for sticking around. I will just finish off the monthly quests and everything, then I'll be coming back for 6.4 exploration videos. Hopefully we can finish them before 7.2 comes out, so we can just focus on 7.2 then. Thank you all for hanging around, and if you like what you saw and you like the tips and tricks, make sure to like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications, leave a comment down below, and check out all the playlists on the channel. I have a playlist for every story quest: 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, also 7.1, so do check them out. Apart from that, in the description there's also infographics I make for the community. They're also available, so yes, check them out as well. There's a link in there, you can just click on it and it will take you to all the infographics I've designed. Apart from that guys, I hope you all have an amazing day and I'll see you next time. Happy 6.3 hunting guys.